Council meeting from Monday, January 5th, 2026. Could everyone please stand for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, I'll open public comment.
Chairman, I don't know if people heard.
I'll open public comment. Sorry.
Oh, there's no mic. Should I just move this one up?
Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Erin Matlin, Library Director at the Leach Library. I just wanted to kind of give an update. I'm not sure if anybody is aware. Excuse me. But on November 17th, we opened up our food pantry down in the lower level of our library. So it's been open for 49 days now. I first want to thank the Board of Trustees for help funding that with shelving and some food to start it. I also want to thank the patrons for any donations that they had dropped off since then, as well as Jim Carey, who works with Heaven's Kitchen. He has also helped, we're partnering with him, and he's donated some food. It's been a great success. I've seen patrons come in and access the food pantry, and I think it's just a wonderful addition to the library and to the resources that we have here in Londonderry. Because we're open till 8 o'clock on some nights and on weekends, I think it's a great resource for people to access kind of in the hours that are hopefully convenient for them. So I encourage anybody who needs the materials or knows someone that does to please come in and take what you need. And certainly if you know someone, you can certainly come in and take and share that as well. So I just wanted to share that update.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else in public comment? Good evening, Dennis. How are you tonight?
Hey everyone, Dennis Martin, 182 Pillsbury Road, Londonderry, New Hampshire. I'm back here to discuss about the veterans tax thing that we were supposed to get in August. Hang on, I gotta pull my phone up here. I'm gonna read a little bit from the minutes, July 21st, 2025. Council Combs made a motion that the Londonderry Town Council hereby approves the amendment of Title VI, I don't know how to say it, Town Policy, Chapter XX11, Service-Connected Total Disability Tax Credit Policy for increasing the amount of the optional tax credit for a service-connected total disability to the new statute minimum of $5,000 per year, accordance to the RSA 7335 as an amendment. The tax credit shall not be combined with or added to any other hold on, bear with me, any other veterans tax credit or exemptions for which they qualify. Taxpayers may otherwise be eligible, include but be limited to those provided under, and there's a bunch of RSAs and so forth, and I won't go into that. This was supposed to go into effective August 2025. Second by Chairman, Vice Chair Faber. Motion carried 5-0. That means you all agreed on it. So it's disappointing and concerning that disabled veterans like myself are not going to get this tax credit, or we didn't get it for this year. And quite frankly, I've talked to a lot of veterans in town about this too. Some who can get it and some who can't get it, and some that were getting it, like myself. And they feel like they've been lied to, and you know, and the town manager, I brought this up a few weeks ago. He said it wasn't in the minutes, and it was in the minutes, and so, you know, the town of Londonderry people voted back in March overwhelmingly to go ahead and approve this. The town did that. The people, the taxpayers of the town. So. And it's disappointing. You know, I know this town probably just as well as anybody because I do the Blues Festival every year, as most of you know, and I see how supportive this town is. I'm very grateful that you guys are willing to do that, you know. So, Mr. Town Manager, I'm asking you, and I'm asking the Town Council to ask you to resign because I think what you've done is a tragedy to your veterans. And you're a veteran yourself, and that's kind of a kick in the teeth to another veteran. And You know, he's willing to give 16.8% raises to everybody else, but he's not willing to help a veteran out. So, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Anybody else with public comment? Good evening, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Mr. Town Manager, and everyone present tonight, good evening. My name is Patrick Cheatham. I'm a police officer and captain with our police department, also a town resident, and just wanted everyone to save the date of Saturday, April 18th. We are hosting our second annual Bring Back the Trades Skills Expo. You may recall we held our first annual last year during school vacation week. We are not doing that this year, even though we estimate 1,000 people in attendance, 65 different organizations, trades, businesses, and raised $30,000 in scholarship money to go towards training in the trades. And we hope to break that goal this year. So that'll be posted on social media in coming weeks. But also we just want to try and get the word out. And you can register all through bbtt.org. So Saturday, April 18th, 9 to 2. And again, another hats off to the school district. We are the only high school in the entire nation to hold such an event, which is kind of cool. So thank you for your
Excellent.
time.
Thank you. Excellent. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Richard Blinsky, 89 Hall Road. Want to get some answers to some questions I've already asked and haven't received answers on. So we had $131,000 that was given out in pay scale adjustments that you all found out about after they were done. What I want to know is specifically what line items that $131,000 came out of. Not that it's in the budget, not that it's a bottom line budget. What exact line items did it come from? That's number one. Veterans credit. I was going to talk about that tonight too. That's an additional $28,250 that was to be given to these veterans. I'm not a veteran. I don't qualify for it. Never been in the military. So this isn't self-serving. It was promised, this board promised it would be done. We get a lot of talk about the TIR from August, I believe it was 5th. On page 2, bullet 2 says it doesn't start. That's not what it says at all. It says they have until, I think it's April 1st to decide whether they want to keep their stackable credits or go with what we gave. Some towns might not give you the whole 5,000, so they may keep their stackables. It also says if you rescinded the 5,000, it would go back to the stackables, the old system. So that's $28,250, number that was put on a sheet by the assessor, Mr. Hamilton. So if we can find 131 for pay scale adjustments that we're doing a pay scale adjustment study on that won't be done until next June, last I heard, you can't come up with the money that was promised to the vets? That's a problem. Okay? I asked about in the budget, it was noted that there's 1 to 4 police cruisers that are assigned for details. And I said, well, that's a place you may potentially be able to cut money out of the budget. What is the cost of those 4 cars, or each car individually, including the leases, maintenance, insurance, everything? Because we're not getting enough money on these details to cover these cars. That means the taxpayer's supplementing this. Get rid of the cars. Haven't received any numbers on that. There's a few other things that are coming up. They're open to the public later. So I want numbers on this. I don't want, well, we make enough to cover it. I want to see numbers, real hard numbers. Okay? There's been a lot of talk about a lot of things going on lately that I'm not happy with. I call up the town manager's office and I ask questions. And if you don't say the exact right words, you're told, no, it didn't happen, or it isn't happening. The games need to stop. All right? I asked about the Christmas party. Was told there is no Christmas party. We know there was a Christmas party. And I said, it's being held at the coach stop. What do you mean there's no Christmas party? Oh, it's not a Christmas party, it's a holiday party. Don't need the word games. They need to end. There's a lot of dividing and conquering going on right now. People being told individually what they want to hear to keep it so members of this board, much like the library trustees, aren't getting along and aren't working together. Because one's being told one thing, one's being told another. It needs to stop. You people need to do something about it. It's been done to me. I met with the town manager before he started, and I was impressed, and I still think he can do a good job. But these games got to stop. It's enough. Right? You're putting more money into salaries without the benefit of the study being finished. You can't go backwards on those. Oh, we have to retain people. People came to this town for those jobs knowing what they paid. All right? What are we going to have? Why don't we just, I'm going to make it simple. Why don't we just pay everybody in this town $200,000, make the bookkeeping easy, and we won't have to worry about it anymore. But in the meantime, I'm getting calls as a resident of this town, because I'm outspoken, from people that are ready to lose their houses. And now they hear this, 16.8% for this group and that group. It needs to end. The town manager works at the pleasure of the town council per the charter. Yes, there's certain things he can do. If it's something major like this, at the very least, this council should know about it ahead of time. If not, you got a problem. Now there's all this hubbub about all over town about a new fire chief coming into town. All right, we never even got told that the last one was changed to a new interim. What the hell is going on? I've been in this town for 40 years, and it's getting worse every year. Every year it's getting worse and worse. That's why I ran last year, because you know something? I can be an asshole, and I'll say it the way it is. You people may start to have to be like that and do what you were put there to do. Let all your personal bickering and divisiveness go away. I can work with anybody. I may not like them, but I'll work with them if they have a good idea. All right? It needs to stop now.
Thank you. Anybody else with public comment? Good evening, Kathy.
Kathy Wagner, 12 McGregor Court, Unit 403, 15 Parmenter Road, and Pillsbury Cemetery, 5 lots. I kind of want to piggyback on Richard. So here's my question. When did you guys find out about this fire chief? Or did you? Or did you hear it from Scuttlebutt?
Good. You can.
I'm addressing you. You're the chair.
Continue.
Okay. Who was on the hiring process, and who was the committee that determined the hiring of this fire chief? Do we know the answer to that? And I'm asking if you could address the town manager to get those names, unless you know them.
Do you want to answer that now, or do you want to get back to like?
It's up to you. Normally you take public comment.
Yeah. Let's. I'll have him get back to you. Let's. He has.
Okay. All right. And when are we going to hear that?
I'll have him get back to you tomorrow. Does that work?
No. I want to hear it tonight because I know it.
Okay. Are you prepared?
She knows it. Why am I?
Yeah.
Because it's polite to ask.
Oh, all right.
Okay. No.
That'll be up to you,
Go ahead.
Chairman. if you-
Go ahead.
Okay, my understanding, it was town employees and there were no citizens and I'm addressing you to ask the chief of police, Mr. Bernard, if he was involved in the decision-making process as he is sitting in the room.
Okay.
Can you ask him?
I can. Let's have you finish your public comment. We'll discuss this later.
Okay. I'm very concerned because the sounds of it is there wasn't a lot of firefighting experience on this committee. And we've hired someone, and there is a name floating around, and I'm not going to release it, who runs a fire department in Massachusetts that finally got a designation through the Center of Public Safety Excellence for a chief. Now I look at if this is indeed the the candidate that the offer was sent to, just awaiting a background check. I don't think he's qualified. 7,500 people? 7,500 people. We're going to have a fire chief come in, take over 27,000, 2 major highways, a power plant, a large regional airport, and you guys weren't told? Are you not concerned? Are you not concerned for the safety of this community? This happened under my watch when I was a town councilor. I left MRU or MRI or whatever the crazy wash your hand government group that the town manager believes is who's giving us the right advice. We were concerned. We were concerned to the point where firefighters on every call had police officers going with them because of the caliber of the individual that was hired. I am bringing this to you. And just like Dennis saying that, oh, the veterans were betrayed, I think our firefighters are betrayed. And I ask that you ask for his resignation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else with public comment? Good evening, Maura. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good.
Maura Ryan, 2 Snowberry Hollow. I just want to remind you guys that I did ask who made the decision to not do the veterans tax credit this December, and I haven't received an answer. So I do want to remind you because I didn't get an answer. But I can only stress that many people are fortunate to go through life without challenges. And I have a double share with my kid. And I don't think it's right to do that to people who can't defend themselves. So I ask again that you reinstate the disabled veterans tax credit for December. And I am still waiting for my answer.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else with public comment? Good evening.
Good evening, Beth Morocco, 4 Westwood Drive. I'm here today as a member of our community, and I want to say thank you to Erin Matlin, the library director. She has given us over 4 years of stellar work. She has raised a bar for her next, the next director of Leach Library that will honestly be quite hard to achieve. I am filled with sadness that we are losing our director, but I understand why. And I am hoping that our community will spend the next couple of weeks taking a moment to thank Erin Matlin for her stellar work. I know that she has the respect and admiration of so many people in this community, so many Londonderry departments. They've worked together, they've collaborated. She's here tonight to present the budget again. So I just ask people to really rally behind her, send her off to her new place, wish her well. I am excited for her that she will have a place that appreciates her contributions. And I just hope that we can learn from this and hopefully not repeat these mistakes, because it is a real loss for our community. And I, for one, am so grateful for everything she's contributed to make Leach Library what it is today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else with public comment? Good evening, sir.
Lowell, John Farrell, 4 Hancock Drive. So I'm not a veteran. I've supported this tax credit for decades. The school budget's about 95 million. Your budget's 45 million. Can all do the math. There's 150 million. This is an easy win. Give the community a win. These people do something that no one else does. And it's like being a first responder. They run towards it. If, for 17 years, Katie Sullivan has sponsored the town council sponsored the Veterans Breakfast. Great, we all go over there and we thank them. is an easy win. Come on.
Thank you. Anybody else in public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment. First up tonight, we have a public hearing receiving input to discuss the act upon the Recreation Commission changing the number of members. There you are. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. So this resolution, 2025-25, would increase the membership of the Recreation Commission from 5 members, where it has sat since it was created, to 7 full-time members, and the possibility of up to 3 alternates. This puts the Recreation Commission in line with most of our other statutory committees, which have 7 members, and allows for us to appoint a wider variety of members from the community representing a wider variety of interests. The recreation program has grown significantly, and the number of people involved in it since the 70s, and so this would let us expand that membership and appoint more of the people who are interested. It's always one of the more popular committees when people apply to be on one, and diversify the number of ideas on it.
Any questions from the council? Seeing none, I will accept the motion to open public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Sean, second by Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Anyone from the public wish to discuss Recreation Committee? I see none. I will set the motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Sean, second by Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Back to the council.
So I move that the Londonderry Town Council hereby changes the membership of the Recreation Committee to 7 full-time members up to 3 alternate members.
I have a motion from Sean,
Second.
second by Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Up next, we're going to receive public input on the proposed purchasing policy, and I believe that Councilor Faber has an update for us tonight, and he's been in communication with the town manager, and you have an update for us.
Yeah, so spent some good amount of time with the town manager this morning, and we really came to an idea that we should work a little more collaboratively on this, iron out some of the edges. One of the suggestions was that we put in a temporary change in the policy to get towards what we want as we work and iron out this together. So I would then propose that we end up, we lower the purchasing policy amount of the current policy to $15,000, and then we add in contractual agreements that just come before the council until we approve this new one. So that's just a temporary measure until the new one comes in and we iron out the language together. So we'd move the public hearing to the 19th.
Okay. Any other discussion from the council?
What happens to the current contract, Sean?
What current contract?
The current contracts that town has? Are we addressing those?
No, everything stays the same. It only is a temporary measure on anything new. So in the, the short period of time, which will be 2 weeks, if it's, over 15, or it's entering into a new contractual services agreement, he'll come before the council and just bring it forward to us in that amount of time. And then that way we can work out the language together and do something a little more collaboratively than we have and iron out some of the languages. Because he's brought up some good points and some things in there that may operationally not function correctly. And I want to work through those with the town manager and get through that so we can come to a better conclusion.
Okay. I have to say, I did look at your proposal. I did look at his proposal. There is a lot to be worked on. And I think I would like to also make sure that we include department heads when you work on this, to get their input as well, to see how that's going to impact their departments as well.
I would have them, for expediency's sake, I think their opinion is important. I'd like to have them provide it to the town manager, and I kind of circle around just to try to narrow this down and get it through. But yeah, we wanted to try to work collaboratively instead of having 2 opposing groups. Any other discussion?
Any other further discussion, or? Basically, I think that Sean and the town manager this morning had a meeting and felt like they wanted to collaborate together on this and try to work together and get to a better place. So
So are we putting this off another week?
Putting it off to the 19th, because if we did this, we wouldn't have a chance really to go
Yep.
through it
Perfect.
that quickly. So I think that gives us some
No,
time.
that's
to go
fine.
through.
Are we, any?
So we will need to, though, approve
Okay.
as a council the temporary measure to lower the amount to 15,000 and add in any contractual services that'll come before the council.
All right. So what would that motion look like?
So I'll make a motion to, with the current purchasing policy, we just amend it to $15,000 on the amount and just also add in that contractual services, just so in the 2 weeks between, we make sure that any of those things come before the council, and I'm fine with that.
Excuse me, point of order, none of us can hear what you're discussing back
Sorry. I'll say it louder. Thank you. So what I was saying is we can amend the current one to make the amount $15,000. So in the meantime, while we're working, or 15,000, because in the meantime, while we're working at this, that's the general point of it. We want to make sure the language is ironed out, but I also want to make sure in between, in the 2 weeks in between, that things of that amount or contractual services come before us in those 2 weeks until we can iron out this language and get through the other purchasing policy. So this is just a temporary measure to bridge the gap in between.
Sean, can you add in there new? The
New,
ones?
yes, absolutely.
New.
No, it's not. We're putting that off to the 19th.
No, so could you please repeat what the change is from, since we could not hear you?
Sure.
The exact changes?
So the change will be to the current purchasing policy, the amount will be $15,000 from the current amount that it's at. And the only inclusion will be any other contractual services. Those are the only changes. This is just a temporary stopgap to get us through.
And then the public hearing will be on the 19th.
Yep, so that's my.
And then I'll
motion.
give you and Sean a chance to work.
I'll second your motion for the 2 week.
Okay?
Point of order?
Yes.
This has to do with what we were having a public hearing on. So therefore, we should be able to have public input into the change that you're trying to make.
Yes.
Be able to have input, you put on the agenda a public hearing on policy. Now you're trying to change a policy for purchasing, but you're not allowing.
So Christine, to your point of order, is that the town manager and Councilor Faber have asked to have time to work together to collaborate. That's what they've asked for. They're still going to have a public hearing on the 19th. They just asked for time to collaborate to get their two opinions together, and then present it to the public and have a public hearing. So nothing has changed. They're just asking for 2 weeks more.
I understand,
So-
but you're changing a policy, purchasing policy in the meantime. You're changing a policy that states, and you're making a limit for 2 weeks for what reason, I don't know. And how can we be sure that this policy is going to be worked in those 2 weeks, and it's not going to be picked down the road for months and months and months like everything else is?
This is,
If you're
we need to
so
cite a rule
certain
violation for a
working
point of
together,
order,
we
so we
should
need to know
not
what
have
the
to
rule
put a hold
violation is,
on
what
money.
rule it cites, and
Okay.
it's devolving into public comment.
Okay, true. All right, so what does the council want to do?
So we have a motion and a
So,
second on the table.
And I believe, just for clarification for the public, you agree, sir, that you're going to work with Sean and
I
Tommy
definitely
Manor,
agree that we're going to be
and
working
you-
with this.
and you
There's some pieces, there's
approve
some
this?
nuances of the language that need to be fixed, and,
Yeah.
we both came to that conclusion that
Okay.
has to get done. And,
Yep, that's
Perfect.
This is within the authority of the town council to do.
Thank you.
So,
All right, so I have a motion from
Can I-
Sean, a second from Ted.
Can I ask, is
Yeah.
this for all expenses or new contracts or, so like we have to pay the IRS for payroll tomorrow? Do I need to run up and get your approval for that now?
No.
Okay.
Now, there's exceptions in the existing policy, those remain, but anything
Okay.
else that had a number before, it just changed it, there was $100,000,
Yeah.
it changed it
So
to
it's
15,000.
exactly the same. The purchasing policy doesn't change, so you don't have
Okay.
to.
Just
worry
lowering it
about
from
it.
100
So
to
it's
15.
Yeah, we wanna
anything that's unbudgeted above 15 now?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just keeping it as consistent as
Yep.
possible.
Okay.
I-
I just
I
want to make
just-
sure.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Christine has a good point. I mean, we're changing a part of a policy. We said we were going to have a public hearing on it. We're not doing a public hearing. We're just going to change the policy.
We're just changing the dollar amount, and the town manager and the council
And we're
Faber
working
have
on
a
the
Dollar
agreed.
amount and some wording in it. that you're
Well-
gonna change. So, you're making a change to a policy.
Feel
You
free
are.
to vote against it, I guess. There's a motion
It's
and a
just-
second.
I know, and you've got your 3 votes.
They,
it doesn't
no, but I'm
really
saying,
matter.
but what I'm saying is that the town manager and Sean agree on this. So I'm offering them the chance of 2 weeks to do this.
Why don't you just give them the 2 weeks, and why do you need to change anything?
Because if something comes up in between, it was to make assurances that we're not going to have something sneak in while we work on this. It's just pausing things and getting it right, as we've said in front of this council many times before. So there's a motion and a second on the table.
Any further discussion, anything?
I don't really care one way or the other. Where's my mic? Here it is. I don't care one way or the other, and I think it's great that you two are going to work it out. My only thing is, and this is going to go back to when we brought up the PUD, and we asked to take it off the shelf while we fixed it, and you guys said, no, you have to leave it as is. And so, I mean, we really need to set more clearer definitions and as to how we're going to proceed on certain situations for policies and procedures and how we're going to do it. I'm not trying to go after anybody here. I'm just saying that this came up not once. This is now a second time within the short time we've been up here as a council. And so what will be the procedure, Mr. Chair? I guess it
Okay.
all comes to you.
Yeah.
What will be our procedure moving forward to be consistent? Is it going to be that if we're bringing something up and we have a public hearing, are we going to table it till we fix it? Or are we going to make alterations? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need something etched in stone so that we are consistent and not saying this one for this one and this one for
So
that one.
the
and-
consistency is we'll be voting on the decision. We voted on that decision to do that with the PUD. I think those situations aren't identical, but the one procedural aspect of that is we voted on to do it. So, you know, it's,
Yeah.
like I
That's what
said,
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It
So we
needs to
can-
be consistent, and we need
Yeah.
to put that somewhere in our rules or, you know, how we work as a board so that we're doing consistently the same thing. Do you know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say?
Yep.
That's all I had to say.
No, I
I
think-
personally think it's great that you're going to wait to fix it. I do think out of consideration, if there are people here who did want to speak on it, they should be allowed to speak. But that's hither nor thither to me.
All right, so a motion, we can vote on it.
Okay.
So
Any further discussion? Or we're just
I'm
gonna-
good.
All right, I have a motion from Sean and a second from Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Chair votes in the affirmative. Thank you guys for working together.
Thank you, Sean.
Under new business, discuss and approve expenditure from the police equipment and technology capital reserve fund.
Material for this, I can't.
Pulls out of that.
Good evening, folks. How are you doing today? I'm here before you today for an expenditure on the Police Equipment and Technology Capital Reserve Fund to move forward and purchase 4 portable radios. That is the patrol officers' communication tool to receive and handle calls and talk to each other in dispatch. For those of you that don't know, we use Motorola. And the quotes that we had were from our vendor, their sole source. And with this, I'm asking you to approve the $17,593.68 from this fund. The reason why is we have increased our staffing, as you folks know, with hiring, and we did not have enough portable radios for the new officers that are in the current background process. So we can't have them out there with a radio when they start. So that's why we're before you today for that approval.
Any questions from the council?
I do, but I can't.
How much are these radios costing? I didn't see that in our packet.
The total with the programming, the charging ports and all that, it's $17,593.68.
I was trying to read earlier. I didn't hear how many total radios.
4, sir.
4, thank you.
I can give you a copy of this if you like. You can have this one.
Can you get to it?
Yeah, trying.
Okay, just click on it.
Very cool, thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, my question was, when I read this background and purpose, it says, with the anticipation of hiring 4 new officers.
Speak into the microphone, please.
So when I read this background and purpose, it says in anticipation of hiring 4 new officers in the coming months. So
Correct.
have you, this is for the ones
So
you've got?
in the background
In the
process
background.
currently, yes.
Okay.
So as you folks know, with everything in our world today, there's lead times. So our backgrounds will probably be concluded before this gets to us. So we need to have them in stock, ready to go for when the new officers hit the street for training.
Got it.
Any other questions?
So I move that the Londonderry Town Council hereby approve the withdrawal request and directs the trustees of the trust fund to disperse $17,593.68 from the Police Equipment and Technology Capital Reserve Fund for the aforementioned items.
I have a motion from Sean.
Second.
Second from Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, up next, we have some members of the Utility Committee here to present the Community Power Aggregation Program. Lynn, how are you tonight? Paul, do you want to join or? Okay, okay, you're welcome to, if you wish.
We have more people than we have seats for, so.
I can pull up a chair for you if you want to. Okay.
So, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Town Council, Town Manager, Assistant Town Manager, Deputy Town Manager, and everybody else, the Budget Committee. My name's Lynn Wiles. I reside at 46 Bartley Hill Road. For the past 2 3/4 years, I was the chairman of the Utilities Committee. At the end of the year, I stepped down from that to pursue some other things that are going on in my life. But one of the things I wanted to continue working on was our aggregation program. As the chairman of the Energy Subcommittee, the aggregation program kind of fell under our wing to pursue. And we've been looking at implementing a program for the past 1.5 2 years. And we're finally approaching a point where we may have some traction going forward. So with me tonight is Bart Fromuth. Bart is the CEO of Freedom Energy Logistics, our partner going forward in our aggregation program. Paul Ramsey behind me. Paul is one of the subject matter experts we have on the Utilities Committee. And Nick Shostak is in the behind Paul, and he's a member of Bart's team at Freedom Energy Logistics. So in anticipation of a possible going forward with this program, I invited Bart to meet with us tonight and go over some slides telling us kind of where we're at and where we're going to be going forward.
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much for having me tonight. Appreciate being here. If we could start with the first slide, I'll walk us through a little bit of aggregation history here in the town of Londonderry. We've been working together now since about 2019, believe it or not. So it's been quite a long process. I helped to author the community choice aggregation legislation in the state, and essentially what that does is it empowers your community to form an electricity buying group in hopes of buying cheaper, more rate-stable electricity on behalf of the ratepayers in Londonderry. There's about 50 active community choice aggregations throughout the state of New Hampshire at present, and we're hoping, as Lynn pointed out, to have a window of opportunity to launch the program here in Londonderry coming up this April. We started, as I mentioned, back in 2019 in Londonderry, back when Kevin Smith was the town manager, was actually going to be the first potential launch of an aggregation. In early 2020, we had requested community-wide data from Eversource to begin the aggregation process. Eversource at that point in time raised some privacy concerns that weren't covered by the enabling legislation, and that put us into about a 2 to 3 year docket at the Public Utilities Commission to come up with rules surrounding the program. So that's why there's been a pretty significant delay out of the gate. The first aggregations did not launch until 2023. So I've been working with Lynn and the Utilities Committee here in town for a number of years, waiting for our opportunity. The Town Council now back in July of 2024 approved the aggregation plan for Londonderry. We then submitted that to the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission. It was approved in August of 2024. And we've been waiting for our moment in the sun, if you will, to launch the program, finding rates that were significantly below the Eversource offering that we could deliver on some savings for the ratepayers here in Londonderry. And as I mentioned, I think we have that opportunity coming up this April. Eversource has put in a rate filing of approximately 11.3 cents per kilowatt hour for a rate to start in February. And we've received rates that are in the 9.5 to 9.9 category, which, if holds, would give us potential savings for every ratepayer that participates in the program of about 10 to 12%. So if you think in terms of Londonderry's overall load is about 112 million kilowatt hours annually. The first rate that we're looking at is going to be potentially a shorter term rate. Just that was what afforded us the opportunity to get below. It's going to be a 7-month rate, which would go from April until the November timeframe, and over that span would save the average ratepayer about $90 on their home electricity bill. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's going to be a potential community-wide savings of roughly $850,000 over that 7-month stretch. There is an opportunity for more savings to be had. This is just a base rate that Eversource has submitted at 11.3 cents. But right now, the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission is discussing whether or not to bring to bear some undercollections from previous rate cycles. If that comes to pass, we could see the Eversource rate being above 12 cents a kilowatt hour, which could expand our savings opportunity here in Londonderry to upwards of 20% on the initial contract that we'd be offering. Now, things are going to be moving quite quickly. We will not know what the official Eversource rate is going to be until it's approved by the New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission. And we think that's probably going to happen somewhere between the 13th and the 15th of January. So we're advising the community to hold off on signing any aggregation contracts, supply contracts, until that number is firmed up and final, so that we know we have a guaranteed savings to deliver to the community in the first contract. Once that contract is signed, we can go to the next slide. I put together a little bit of a timeline. This will be working with Sean, the town manager, as well as Kirsten and the Energy Committee team. We'll be executing the contract, as I mentioned, around hopefully the 15th of the month. Then we will be informing the Public Utilities Commission of our decision to launch for April 1st as of the next day, January 16th. In early February, we'll be launching the Londonderry Community Choice Aggregation website as part of our education campaign to inform Londonderry residents as to what's going on and what their rights and responsibilities will be under the program. That website's going to be hosted by Freedom Energy Logistics, but it will be posted on your social media and the town website as well. We'll also be working with your public access television network to host a frequently asked questions session, which will be broadcast both on our website, the town website, as well as your public access television. The next step would be, as we move towards the production date, we have to provide opt-out notices to every ratepayer in the community. So everybody in their mailbox will be receiving a notification from the winning bidder, alerting them as to what the winning bid was, what the savings. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. So just on the opt-out, just point of clarification. So if you have a solar system on your roof today, you're not going to be part of the program. If you have gone off on your own and got a competitive source of supply, you're not going to be part of the program either. This
Correct.
is only targeted Eversource customers who receive their supply through Eversource as a line item on their bill.
Correct. If you think about it, the best way to kind of boil it down in simplest terms is that this is going to be Londonderry's default service rate which will be replacing Eversource's default rate. Now, anybody can still come and go as they please. They can jump back and forth between the programs. So it's just another option for the community, but starting at a significant savings delta versus Eversource.
Yep. And the opt-out clause has always been kind of a little bone of contention with various people, but that was the way the RSA was written up in Concord as well. And we're just following, the marching orders that came down from the legislature up in Concord.
And also just to also mention on that, Eversource, when you first move to Londonderry, you start with the Eversource default service program. So that's kind of the original opt-out, if you will. You start there and then branch out. So that's how this program was structured, that now you'll start at the Londonderry program and then can branch out from there if you'd like. After we send out the opt-out notifications to residents throughout town, within 15 days, we're going to be hosting a public information session that will likely be here at Town Hall, answering questions for residents about, what to expect on the program, how they opt out, how they can opt in, if they're under a third-party supply contract currently, what the terms look like, things of that nature. The other thing to note is that nothing changes in terms of your relationship with Eversource. It's really important to just highlight that. So if your light goes out, you're still having a metering issue or a billing issue, Eversource is still the resource that you turn to handle those things. We're just replacing the energy rate on page 2 of the Eversource invoice. You're still paying your Eversource invoice. Nothing will change in terms of your relationship with the utility. There's no priority given for who buys the commodity from them versus who does not. You're still a customer of theirs on the transmission distribution side. Once we get through the opt-out period, anybody that has taken steps to opt out of the program and opt in the program, they'll be processed. And then as of April 1st, we'll start our enrollments by alerting Eversource to which members of the community will start in the program for April 1st, and we'll be in production at that point in time.
And I guess I'd like to stress as well that, as of April 1st, if the ratepayer wants to go with this program, there's absolutely nothing they have to do. It automatically transfers over to the new rate structure.
Correct.
So nobody has to go in and sign a letter, send a letter, click a box on a web page or anything like that. It automatically happens. And honestly, we're not talking a lot of money when you look at the aggregate, but we're talking, measurable savings. Yeah. So, that's what we're really looking for the town. One of our guiding principles on the energy subcommittee was we're not going to go forward with this program until it makes sense for the ratepayers of the town. And I think we're finally there.
Mr. Chair.
Any questions? Yeah, please.
Have you guys heard if there's been any rumblings that they'll be increasing the other end of the bill that customers receive? So there's a supply rate, but there's the other side.
That's correct.
That they've been increasing over the past 2 years on the distribution end, and that's really been cutting into some people.
Yeah, unfortunately, with deregulation, we're able to compete with the cost of the commodity itself, but we're not able to impact the bill in any way in terms of the delivery charges. So that's still a monopoly in terms of Eversource is your loan provider if you're in the Eversource territory, similar to Unitil or Liberty customers.
And we won't be targeted to have our distribution rates increase to offset what they're going to be losing?
Correct. So all utilities, all publicly owned utilities, investor-owned utilities in the state of New Hampshire can only make a return on their investment on the transmission distribution side of the invoice. So in terms of where someone chooses to go for procurement of the actual commodity cost, they're indifferent to that because it doesn't change their bottom line.
So I said this last time you were up, but I think I'll say it again for the audience. I had participated in a program like this myself because people can shop around and do it. So I'm well aware of how well this actually works and how Eversource will still be there if things go wrong. They'll take care of that. How much it actually lowers your bill, but without us having to do the work ourselves. This is us doing it for a community. So I thank you, Lynn, for the effort, because even myself, who takes the time and looks these rates up and compares and shops suppliers, it's a pain. So it'd be nice just to go, cool, one thing off my plate. We're taking care of it as a community and saving everybody money. So I'm very grateful.
Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Deb.
I would like to know what the process. I would like to know what the process was to finally narrowing it down to Freedom Energy? Like, how many other people did you look at? Were they the best competitive? Like, why did the utility committee pick your organization, your company?
So we'll go back to the origins of this program, which kind of predate my time with this program. But Kevin Smith, our former town manager, signed a contract with Freedom Energy Logistics,
January 2020.
January of 2020. And we started going forward with that in mind. We did, as a committee, we did look at other suppliers. And we made an assessment back then that the contract looked fair, and we decided to go ahead with the contract as it was written, and we pursued it that way. The contract itself expired at the end of 2025, and based on our recommendation and based on the market conditions and looking into some of the other suppliers involved at that point in time, it looked like Freedom Energy Logistics continued to be what we thought was the supplier of choice for this program.
And how long is this contract for with you guys?
So the contract is for another 5 years.
Yep.
And the contract has been signed. And we have, I think, everything I can say, Deb, is that Freedom Energy Logistics has been a wonderful company to work with. I think they're very straightforward. I haven't had any inkling that they haven't been upfront with all of our dealings with them.
And that's fine.
And yep. And all I can say else is there's some other suppliers in this state. I'm not going to go down who they might be, but they are facing some financial troubles. And I think based on the way Freedom Energy Logistics is structuring their pricing, we're not going to have those same issues with Freedom Energy Logistics.
Okay. So, like, I do understand the opt-out and opt-in kind of thing, and there's no cost for the residents to opt in and opt out, even
Correct.
if it's more than one time?
Correct. They can do it as much as they would.
Okay, and so what happens with our contract with you if you are no longer the lowest supplier? So what if, just say, at some point in time, Eversource becomes cheaper than you?
So just important to point out, so we've been brought in as the consultant for the community. So we are putting this out to bid amongst three suppliers.
So you're a broker?
We're a consultant, essentially, yes.
Okay.
And so we put this out to three suppliers currently. The three active suppliers in the marketplace have all submitted indicative pricing. And in 2 weeks' time, they'll submit executable pricing. And then the town manager will make a decision based upon with guidance from our recommendations, but certainly, based on the best interests of the community, whether to move forward or not move forward at that time, depending upon what the prices look like. If they hold steady as they were this morning, there's a sizable delta to be had for a savings for the community. But it's a very volatile market that those savings
I understand, but I just kind of wanted to understand. So you do shop around on our behalf?
Yes.
So like I use an insurance broker, right? So I pay this
Like an
guy,
independent insurance
and every
agent.
year he goes out and makes
Correct.
sure that the best policy for me is X. Sometimes I change over, sometimes I stay, and then they get a piece of it, and then that's how it all.
Correct. So
Okay.
both you as the town council, the town manager have the authority under the aggregation plan that you voted on. Every time an aggregation contract comes up for renewal, you have the choice to either move forward with a new contract, or you can go back to the utility based upon what prices are doing versus the rate to compare.
And that's fine. I get it. And the other thing I have a question about is, so if somebody is getting, I'm trying to think of it, what it's called. So like a discount because of their financial
Yes.
through
Electric
the
assistance
state.
program. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they still apply, or do they have to stay with that?
Great
I mean,
question. So if you're on budget billing, electric assistance program, anything of that nature, all of your benefits are preserved under this program. The only thing, as Lynn mentioned, was we want to be careful about is with net metering. So if you were to have solar on your roof and export more kilowatt hours back to the grid than you're able to consume,
Right.
under this program, there's no way to remunerate you for those exported kilowatt hours. So you're better off with the utility because that structure can compensate you for those exports.
And I get that, but my concern was the people who may be not as fortunate and have to use assistance with their
They'll get
electricity.
the 10%
if it would
savings
make sure that
in
they would get
addition
another
to the
discount on
another
top of
discount.
it.
They'll stack the benefit, correct?
Okay, it's stackable. That's
Yes.
okay. That's what I was getting at. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Thank you.
Sure, and Deb, just one other comment too. I think one of the big things the utility committee is going to be looking forward at is performance of Freedom Energy Logistics. So we're not just going to sign this contract and walk away and say, you guys go off and do it. We're going to be constantly monitoring their performance, and if they're not doing the job, we'll fire them.
And can we do that, or do we have to pay out of the contract?
There is a clause in the contract if we do want to change suppliers that we can do that. You know, we'd have to look at that as well. But but that's part of the job of the Utilities Committee, is making sure that the people we contract with do what they say they're going to do. And we'll keep watching that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question.
Go.
When you say enrollment and officially launch the program, by launch, do you mean starting April 1st, the billing for residents will be at that new rate on starting on April 1st? Or will, because I've switched from like Direct Energy,
Yeah.
like Sean, I shop around.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of months for Eversource to switch over.
Yep.
So when we mean enrollment, when will taxpayers start seeing that change in their bill?
Great question. So everything on the utility system in terms of changes takes place on your individual meter date. So when I talk about program launch being April 1st, I mean all the meter reads on April 1st, then April 2nd, April 3rd will start to transition all the way through the end of the month. So you might have someone that has a late April meter read that won't see that reflected until a bill that they receive sometime maybe in June because of the late meter dates. But it'll start the enrollment process on those April 1st meter dates.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
And for clarification, that's just because it's not possible, because somebody has to read the meter.
That's
once the
correct.
program- And you're
That's
not going to
correct.
read the meter before the program starts. So
That's correct, yeah.
That's why the delay.
Any other questions? Thank you guys for the presentation.
Thank you very much for having us.
All the hard work. Appreciate it. Up next, we have the budget workshop. It's an open shop today. Any questions the budget committee has, or any questions the town council members have? Most of the department heads are here, so any questions you guys have are open today. Anybody want to start us off?
I guess I'll start with the elephant in the room. We had those $400,000 of cuts that we've discussed a lot. What are we doing about that? Are we accepting those changes? Are we going to pick which ones we want? What are we doing about those?
So we haven't discussed that yet. That's part of what we can talk about today.
Okay.
That's one thing we can open that up now and talk about that, or we can, we will be picking and choosing some of those things. I can tell you that, though.
Okay.
We'll not be choosing all of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Sure, I guess I'll kick it off. So first, thank you, Justin, for getting all that information over to me over the past month. It was a lot. Appreciate it. I've got some questions. So just for those who might be their first time tuning in to these discussions, in the beginning of December, I made a request of Justin for the breakdown of several lines in the budget. That was the, got it up here somewhere. One of these tabs has so much information. Yeah, so the general expenses line item, management services, office supplies, and where is it? And a couple other items. Just I wanted to be able to see it broken down. Yeah, management services, general expenses, office supplies, department expenses, and other MISC supplies. Justin got all that over to me, distributed to the budget committee. If anyone wants that, shoot me an email. I can send it your way. I have a couple questions in regards to IT. So first, in IT, under the general expenses line, there's a $10,000 increase from FY26 to FY27. I just would like to know what you're attributing to that increase.
1 second.
just looking for my notes on it.
No worries.
There it is. So this is intended to essentially update more of our equipment. I believe if you look historically, we've spent this. This is another one that we've spent out of different lines that we're putting the money into this line in order to upgrade, cables, hubs, monitors, keyboards, mice, all that basic general IT expense.
Okay. All right, then under IT as well, the management services, and I apologize if I've asked this before and you've already answered, that increase from FY 26 to, let's see, that was expenses, management services. Yeah, from 339,120 to 630,131. I've seen the breakdown in the past years. Right, you had the town software IT, which takes up a huge chunk. The internet phone, minimal amount in comparisons, and supplies, equipment as well. I was wondering again, why such a significant increase?
So this is a good chunk of that, about 210,000.
Yep.
Is the OpenGov software, where if you look on grant received revenue, or not grant received revenue, revenue from the state, you'll see about 180,000 that is intended to offset that initial cost.
Okay.
But that is about 210,000 of that is that software.
And that's approved. We can count on that 180 to offset the costs.
As long as the state doesn't make any budget rescissions, it's a 2-year budget that's been passed, so, shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
But
So-
again, we don't control what happens in Concord. They did pass a budget, those monies are in there for that, so.
If you look at the revenue, it is 003359-001. Other state grants is where I have that revenue housed.
So is that a grant applied for and already accepted? What is the status of that grant?
The status, you have to, as I talked about the last time, that we couldn't have, I wasn't here in May. You have to apply every May, in the May
Okay, so we
timeframe.
would be applying for that in May. Okay.
And so I guess to that, I just historically, Mr. Town Manager, have they denied those grant requests in the past?
No, because
you're
the
dealing
federal,
with-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I continue, sir.
They're federal pass-through funds to do that. They've been encouraging municipalities to have, to manage their assets, and so these are pretty straightforward. Most communities have already done it, so they have the funds to be able to do that. We just didn't meet the timeline this year.
Okay. All right, and then for assessing, so we'll go back to managing services under assessing services. That takes up the large chunk of the management services lines. What does that entail?
So that is our contracted for utilities, water, things that are more detail-oriented and specific that are outside the realm of the normal assessing position.
Okay. All right.
So is that grant, is that 1 year worth of money? And should I ask John? Okay, sorry. Is that grant 1 year worth of money and then the cost remains after that at that same amount? Is that 212 implementation cost, and then this offsets the implementation? I guess I'm just trying to
Yeah,
see.
it's implementation costs to do that, including laptops if you need those, software, all those things that go along with that.
Okay, and so,
It doesn't cover the recurring annual cost, that's what I think what you're
yeah,
asking.
yeah.
It
So
does not.
do we know the amount of the recurring versus what's implementation? I'm just trying to get the breakdown.
We do, but I don't, Do you have that, Justin? I don't have that in front of me.
Give me a minute, I think I can get that.
He's looking at the asset management one, not the permitting one.
To feed off of what Sean was asking, are we able to apply in future years for monies to go against this at all?
No, because that's to get your asset management system up and running. It's,
Okay.
it's one time to do that. It doesn't recover your recurring fees. They don't normally cover those grants anyway.
Are there other IT grants out there to assist the town?
Not presently to do that, no. That's why you increase the building permit fees, as you remember, and those.
Of course. No, I was just making sure I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know all the different
that's
grants
what
that are out
covers
there.
that. So we're not taking out of property taxes. We
Yeah.
talked about that. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
I just don't know if there's other IT grants that are out there, that's all.
Not at present, there isn't. There are IT grants for cyber security and those sorts of things, and we're not even ready to apply for those yet.
Sounds good.
And they do some free, it's not free, they send people down here to do your cyber, CISA, to do your cyber service assessments, and we haven't done one of those yet that I'm aware of.
Sounds good.
So it is 117. I'm just going to give the base if you guys are okay with that, rather than down to the penny. 117.7 in fiscal year 28, 123.6 in fiscal year 29, and 129.8 in fiscal year 30.
That's for both though, right?
That's for both, yes.
129 point, sorry,
So 129,812.
812, and that's in 30?
Yep. And then
Okay.
it's 123, 630 and 29, 117, 743 and 28. And that, as Sean mentioned, is for both.
Okay, and then there's nothing in 27, correct?
27 is the 212 that we just
Okay,
discussed.
okay, that's, I'm just being clear. And then, so the grant is for year 27, and that covers 180?
180.
Okay. And do we know, and one of the questions I asked was in 27, then how much of that's implementation of, did you have that on there?
That will take a little more calculating to do. Yep. Sarah will work on that while we
Okay.
continue on.
Thank you.
Are you all set, Joseph, or you? Okay.
Yeah, if Justin's ready, I've got one more for him. Or when he's ready. Oh, okay. Yeah, under still in management services, under community development, there's the circuit rider expenses. Was that a one-time item at that cost? What is that? I should ask.
It's on a as-used basis.
Okay.
So when there are additional projects going on and it exceeds our ability, we utilize them in order to assist. If
Yep. For example, part of that fund is used during the master plan update right now that we're doing,
Okay.
as well as when we've had vacancies or when people are on leave to fill that vacancy.
Okay. And then there's there's also the additional master plan line,
Separate fund.
separate fund.
Yep. Correct.
Okay. I see it. The management services went over by a little under 40K back in 2025. Are we going to be expecting over or underage in management services for the community development line for FY26? Is that something that can be predicted now, just based off
Can you
of
say it one
current?
more time, Joe? Can you just say it one more time?
Yes, of course. So I'm taking a look under community development, the management service line.
it will be going over this year.
Be going over? Okay. All right, so that's all I have for now.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions done? Dan, nothing?
You had more than a week now to think about it.
Well, I do want to clarify, Sean, that I did go look at the video about my response about using the undesignated fund balance, and I had no problem using the undesignated fund balance for these items. What I did have an issue with, and I brought that out, and I watched the video, like you said, was to offset the tax rate temporarily because it's going to go up later. That was my issue. So I did bring that up.
Any further budget discussion?
I guess. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say if no one else had any
Well,
further.
can I jump in if you don't mind?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So the 27 implementation cost is $99,900.
Okay. Do that.
99.9
Thank you.
for both, again. And that's for 27.
Oh, okay. So I guess if there's no further discussion, I just had some initial recommendations just to move us closer to that $400,000 decrease. And when I made my little table here, I just did it by code, not by what it was. So I'll just take a bit in between. So first for the cable department, actually I can just pull it. Cable, that will be office supplies, reducing that line from $750 to $400. For general government, okay, why can't I find? Yep, there we go. For management services line, reducing that from $54,000 to $49,000, and the general expense supplies line from $8,500 to $7,500. Under IT.
Hold on one second.
Oh, yep.
What was the second one in general government?
General expense supplies, so that would be from $8,500 to $7,500.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Under IT, the office supplies, that's code 6420, from $500 to $100. The senior affairs line. General expense supplies from $2,000 to $1,450. Solid waste. The general expense supplies from $930 to $850. The town clerk, the office supplies, that's again code 4620, from $9,864 to $5,500.
Is that town clerk regular or the?
Town clerk tax collector, is it Department 05? Where is it located?
Is
in?
it 00 or 43? Never mind, I answered my own question. It's
Okay.
00.
Okay.
What was the recommendation?
From $9,864 to $5,500. Town council. Let's find this. That would be. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, maybe this wasn't town council, my apologies. This next one. Code 621. All right, we're gonna hold off on that one because I can't. I thought that was town council, but in looking, that was not. I just have to go back into my notes. Everything's living on 3 or 4 spreadsheets right now.
I can relate to that.
And then finally, for HR, eliminating the hiring of the 2 new positions, the 2 new part-time positions. I believe that was for the salary, so that would be 95,708 to 0, and then for the where is this? Yeah, it's the what was it? Yeah, FICA benefits and Medicaid benefits. Those, and with the salary reductions, then those 2 would be reduced by $7,322. So that would be what, a $5,934 reduction from FICA benefits and $1,388 reduction in Medicaid benefits. So once I can find where that where that other 2,500 came from, this would bring the total to all those numbers start, that was $179,574 initially in those lines, $64,700, no. Yeah, my apologies. So that would be a 1,114, yeah, $1,114,874 cut. There's additional 1,500 I just have to go back into my notes and find, but just to bring us closer to our $400,000. I don't know what your thoughts are, if you would like to discuss those cuts. So when I went through, so I guess I should explain how I came to these numbers. So it was taking I took a look at what was spent in 2025, what they're on track for spending in 2026, and I tried to give them a little bit of a cushion, knowing that things would increase. But if there was a line that was consistently up under in those 2 years, I applied a cut to it. This wasn't, I believe, applied to lines that went over in 25 or seem to be going over in 26.
What was the line item for the town clerk's department?
Town clerk department,
9,864 to 5,500.
so 460.
What is that line?
Was that
Furniture.
Was it?
Furniture?
Office supplies.
Yep.
Office supplies.
Yeah.
And we've been hearing, for many years from the town clerk's department that office supplies have certainly been rising on them. So I'm worried about cutting that line item if office supplies paper, pens, all that equipment, all the paper for printing that they need to do, everything that they need for card registrations, credit card receipts, all of that. If that keeps going up in price, I would hate to see us not have the money for that.
Maybe that was. Let me just double check. It might not have been. Oh, was it?
I thought it was furniture fixtures.
No, so this one,
Office supplies.
we increased this because we've started purchasing their toner for them and their various printers out of their budget so we can track it better rather than including it with everyone else's. So that's about $3,850 right there is why the increase went up.
Printer toner is not cheap. And consistently goes up on people.
You know, we're the you know, and the reason for taking a look at those budgets, we're also, right, we're moving towards being as paperless as possible. We're spending all this money on OpenGov to help reduce the amount of paper that we use, the amount of the things that we print.
This is true, but we're not there just yet.
But with this budget, when will OpenGov, when will the implementation begin?
So it's also important to keep in mind the clerks on this one.
Yeah.
No matter what, they have to print registrations.
Okay. Right.
And title,
This
or not
is-
titles,
okay.
vitals, things like that, that unfortunately it'd be nice if we could go paperless.
Right.
Marriage
Okay.
certificates.
Yep.
Everything in that sense.
No, good point
Everything
there.
all has to be printed.
Good point there.
So what was your question about OpenGov again? When does it?
Well, this would be, this toner cost, this is for the documents, well, I'll just want to clarify this, then I'll answer your question. So for the toner, right, this is used for printing those vital documents that we give to. Okay. So my question was, when will OpenGov be implemented?
So we started to implement both asset management program and we're also kicking off the permitting program. It'll take about 2 years to fully implement the permitting program. Asset management I estimate to be about 3 before it's completely up and running.
Okay. I guess, what departments would that impact? I would be utilizing OpenGov during the 27 budget year.
So asset management or permitting?
Okay.
No, that's a question. Because
I guess give me both.
Yeah, so some of it should be up and running for asset management by then. So asset management is basically all the departments that have, physical assets, buildings, vehicles. Obviously, DPW is the biggest consumer of that because they have all the roadway networks. All of those are all included in their sewer systems. All that is in there. But computers, all those things go into that system as well. And even police department, firearms, radios, fire department, same thing, all their vehicles, all that goes in there.
But it certainly wouldn't be reducing our supplies and printing costs just yet for the clerk's department.
Yeah, not for FY27. It won't affect the clerks at all because as they indicated, they have to print off those materials. That's required by the state.
There's also all the printing for the elections as well that they do.
So I have a quick question while this came up. So the numbers you gave me, Justin, were those asset management and permitting put together? And if so, do you have a breakdown of those separate? Or is that?
We do, and that was what was sent to you. You have a copy of that contract, and it breaks it out each year, how much we have to pay, all the small
I
amounts.
just don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, no, I
That's
don't
what-
have it in front of me
that's-
either, but
yeah.
I don't have that.
Okay, but the numbers those were total.
That was for fiscal year 27.
Okay.
Joseph, I'd like to talk about some of your cuts specifically because I think some of them are very valid. So,
Well, actually, first, while we're on
yeah,
the point of the clerks, to Ted's point, and so that because the increase rate, it's for the toner, it's for the actually, what was? Let me pull up. Where did that come from? So is that being moved from one line to this line?
Yeah, IT used to buy all of the toner
Okay.
for all of our departments. And slowly we've been moving so that each department buys their own so that we can track how much each department is spending. So now IT is only paying for their toner.
Okay. So, and where would that have been reflected in the IT budget?
Department expenses or
Okay.
supplies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we should put, would we like to just throw the a clerk number back in, not do that reduction of.
I'd like to hear from the town clerk. I mean, 4,000. is a big
Yeah, so
hit.
that was
Not
a
gonna take it out.
$5,500 reduction. Just
We,
nix that suggestion.
Okay.
on the $400,000 cuts, there is a proposed reduction to the office supplies of
Okay.
1,800.
Okay.
So we looked at
Right.
that and said, okay, what could we do to that account, knowing that the toner was coming in? So we have proposed a
Right.
reduction.
Okay.
Just not to the same amount.
Okay. Thank you.
The one thing I'll say is, regardless of where these end up, thank you for all the work you've poured into this. You definitely took this very seriously. I also like the methodology of looking at it, trying to look at past years, trying to do something that caused, a little interruption to anything, because this is where it's the hardest part, and you clearly put a lot of thought into it. So just thank you for all the work you put in on this.
Yeah, and I'm not done. I'm just, I got hit with the flu. For 2 weeks after I had everything, I was so excited to start pouring into it, and then I was just taken out. So there's still some looking, and I know we say, oh well, this is just pennies on the dollars, but pennies on the dollars add up to something that's coming off the taxpayer, and where, you as the council set that $400,000 goal. I'm going to keep looking for ways to try to get us closer and closer to that line.
Can you get
Yes.
us a printout of that, like, or an email of that, so that we can all look at it and see? I know Sean wrote down most of the numbers. I was trying to keep track.
I
of them.
still don't have.
So
that.
what I will
But-
do
'cause I-
is I'm gonna go back into this. I'm also gonna figure out where that. So under council, I can't find where I found that,
'Cause
so I
I-
have to look back into my notes.
I
I'm
think you
going-
have some good suggestions there.
Yeah, I'll put that into an Excel document. I'll email it to the council, email it to the budget committee. I'll
Yeah.
email it to you, Justin,
some good
Sean.
suggestions.
If anyone from the public wants it, email me, email the budget committee, request it. I'd be happy to send it your way. And hopefully for next week, I can have more recommendations.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, because, all right, just assuming, taking yours, what that would bring us up to with the ones that we've already did is 173,774, which is like somewhere close to halfway there-ish.
Yeah.
And if you've got more coming next week, like if anyone else doesn't have anything else to bring up, I'd be comfortable moving this conversation into next week, so that way you have a chance to complete your work.
Yeah.
You also can get that information out to us so we can digest it, because trying to write this down was really hard to digest in that manner. I'd rather see it, have it, take it in. So
I'd like to adopt some of your stuff that, that you've worked hard on, because I think a lot of the things you mentioned are valid.
Right. And that's
So-
the thing, right? I didn't want to cut a line that's been consistently going over, because that means those monies were being drawn from other sources to pay for it. And then taking a look and being able, because I know in the past we've said, hey, let's cut X amount from supplies, let's cut X amount from management lines, but without being able to look in to see what that actually represents.
Yes.
But now, thanks to Justin's work, I can go in and we all can go in and see, okay, this is what's actually in the management line. This is what's in the supplies line, and understand what effect those cuts would actually have, if there even would be an effect.
Yeah.
If the line's consistently running under, then
yeah.
Even if we agreed on half of what you suggested, thank you for bringing that to our attention, because that's you know what I'm saying? Like, that's still a good chunk of change. So
I think one that I think should be discussed more, and maybe we start those discussions tonight, is because two of the large cuts would be the incoming HR positions. And I'm not sure where all of you are at with reducing those positions. I know where my thought process is, $75,000 additional dollars went into the legal services line. We had been drawing from that line to help with some of that was, helping with HR and some of those duties and responsibilities. That line isn't going down, it's going up. And then we're also bringing in the two new persons. We do already have 2 members of HR that they're getting salary increases and have been doing this work. maybe this year isn't the year to bring on the 2 additional staff. I'm not sure where your minds are at. My mind is that let's not bring them in this year.
That's one of the things I think too with the increases. I think you expect the increases to equal. I mean, I've had managers before where I've told them, okay, you made some increases. You can increase, you can do positions, but you can't necessarily get both. It's kind of a spend to spend, whatever. It's not police, it's not fire, it's not DPW. While it is a very important function, it's not one of those the core things that if we're going to miss something, I'd rather miss that for a year than miss some of the police and fire. And it's not saying no forever. It's just maybe not this year. If we're gonna pick something, that seems like a reasonable. And it's hard to get through these without any kind of head count. And this doesn't take away current head count. It just takes away what we're looking for towards the future.
Yeah, Sean's not looking someone in the eye and saying you don't have a job
Yeah.
in 27.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a good compromise to consider one, I would say. I mean, you guys can think about it, but that would be my opinion anyway for the HR. Because I just remember Tara sitting up here and them talking about, she was talking about how they're so stuck in the reactive. I mean, I remember that presentation, like just constantly reacting and never able to, you know, progress in other areas because they're kind of stuck in that mode all the time. So I don't know. I think it would be hard to hear if I were in that department with only 2 people asking for help that nothing was coming, but.
Can I ask, and if this is not public information, please don't say it, but can I ask what the increases were within the HR department in general in salaries, or is that too specific where we shouldn't answer that publicly?
I think
We can answer that question.
Okay.
Salaries are public information.
Okay.
So
I'm just
it's just
not-
benefits in terms of like health insurance, who takes what.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go on general, just because Joseph alluded to that, so I'm just trying to see what amounts we're dealing with.
So while he's doing that, I also want to point out, I want to hear Patrick's suggestions for cuts next week too.
Okay, did he have some too?
I'm guessing. so.
I'll check and see if he emailed, because if he emailed them to me, I'll.
If we can get those out too.
And that's
So
great for next
analytical,
week,
he's
'cause we
really
have more
good.
time next week.
Yeah, we do have more time.
Yeah, so.
So.
I'd rather get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I don't believe I have him. Yeah, I believe he's still working on them.
No, I see the 2
Or-
positions in that, the salary, 25 to 27.
Yeah.
So the HR director, in fiscal year 25 was 116, and then in 26, it was 133, with an adjustment up to 143. And then, for some reason, in 27, it goes down to 140. And then the other HR administrator was in the finance department as the benefits administrator. And in fiscal year 25, they were at 67, and then 67,000. And then benefits administrator was at about 78,000, going up to upwardsly adjusted to about 88,000 in fiscal year 26, that adjustment. And then in fiscal year 27, we have 93,000, about 93-ish thousand budgeted for that.
Actually, I've out of curiosity, Justin, that when you sent us that salaries sheet giving us, you know, FY 25, 26 changes in 26 and 27, what's there for 25 and 26 for those positions? Does that include benefits as well? No, so none of that. Okay.
So if my swag math I was trying to keep up there, that's 50,000 difference. Think?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Patrick has more cuts he's going to propose?
Yeah, Patrick, he's been working on a sheet.
Okay.
That he's looking to.
No.
I'm pretty sure
That's just
so.
all of it. He's got a spreadsheet. He's been working on it.
If you and Patrick could get it to the council before Monday night's meeting so we could review it,
Okay.
that'd be
Yeah.
very helpful, because I think a lot of suggestions you made tonight are very good. And I think if we can see it beforehand, then we can come and say, yeah, we want to do this, we want to do, you know.
Okay,
see
yeah.
the numbers down. I mean, I'm trying to write stuff down, and I know, just keep track of
Definitely.
your cuts, but I think if you guys collaborated and
Yeah, I'll let Patrick know. to send it, if he's going, because I believe he wants to email it to the budget committee, add you guys as well, add
Yeah.
Luke Justin in as
'Cause
well,
I-
so he's got the heads up.
I would fully,
It's about 50, yeah, I did the math. It's 50,000-ish, give or take,
Yep.
in raises for those two positions over the last 3 fiscal years.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
anything else we want to discuss tonight? Or can we,
I'm good.
come back with a big push next week, with you and Patrick, and then the council can be ready beforehand to discuss, and then we have the other cuts we already have
Yep.
proposed to discuss, so it'd be good to have.
And I have some
You and
thoughts, but
Patrick's,
those,
right.
are, those are definitely less painful, and I'd like to pour through those, so that's,
Yeah,
that's good.
I think your suggestions are very beneficial, so that's
And
why
I-
I'd like to see them.
I think the question too is, are we still trying to get to the 400,000 and it's just a matter of picking and choosing what that looks like, or?
Yes.
Okay,
That's our council goal, I think, that we kind of set, like, we'd
Okay.
like to be around 400,000, so. I think if you and Patrick can come with magic.
Well, and to just state the reasoning behind some of this, so it was to be halfway in between, and part of the reasoning was, if we're, because the town manager's going through the exercise right now to see what default would look like. If we come up with it a lot of elsewhere and we find other things, that's what default looks like, not deeper cuts than that.
Okay.
And that's, because otherwise, as it stands right now with the recommended town manager cuts plus default cuts, that would get real, and I don't want to see what that looks like. So
Correct,
it's just trying
yes.
to come up with some creative
Yep.
ways around this.
got it. I was just making sure the goal hasn't changed.
No, thank you.
I guess then, just for, so next week, right, public hearing on the budget. Following week, public hearing on warrant articles. And then
So on the ninth,
when,
Just to be clear, so there are 2 public hearings.
right,
And we're going to do everything, the
Yep.
budget, and then the bond hearing is also on the 19th. But REARC is going to be here to talk about the Lions Hall bond, or Reverend
Yeah.
Lawrence Meeting House bond. So there'll be, so that way you have 2 different meetings to be able to discuss that. So we'll be doing all of those items.
so then when do you need the budget committee's recommendations on the budget and warrant articles for the ballot? What dates?
Like our voting?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So the statute's one thing, your policy is something different. So you can talk about what the statute says.
So ideally, if we're doing it on the 19th, I'd like the 19th. However, I understand you guys like to have a separate meeting afterwards. So by the 20th or 21st, that way we can get it published and into compliance with the RSAs.
Okay.
I think the last date on the calendar I have is that Wednesday,
Okay.
as a just in case things don't get worked out or something happens on that Monday, we have that little bit of leeway, but I want to emphasize it is very little bit of leeway.
So, because I'm just thinking, because I know a few meetings need to be scheduled for the month of January, just for the budget committee to meet itself. So definitely, I'll send out an email with you guys, but definitely the Tuesday, the 20th, should be expecting to meet so that we can discuss just ourselves, the budget, the warrant articles, and vote. I guess throw that out to you guys would probably be 7 p.m. down here, but I'll get something out, wherever Kirsten is, to her with some dates. For you guys as well.
Sounds good.
Ron, if I may, just.
Yeah, please.
One
This
one
will-
thing we didn't touch on today, I think was lingering out there, was the IT positions. Any update on those? We were discussing potentially looking for people at a lower salary than what's in the budget.
Yeah, we had already told the
talked-
town manager to reduce the salary.
Yeah, we had reduced it by 30,000.
Started procuring or interviewing for those positions.
If you want to speak to where we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've done initial interviews, and we have second round of interviews this week.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be resolved this week, and then background investigation still has to be done and those sorts of things. So it'll be at least 30, 60 days before someone's on board.
Anything, is that good? Okay. Yeah. Any other budget items to discuss? Are we all good for next week to come back and tear into this and present the 400,000?
Okay, I'll start with that.
All right.
Start at 6 or 7 next week.
7.
7, okay.
It's 7 from now on.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll give the budget
Love it.
I'll give the budget committee a couple minutes to If we're all set, everyone is good?
I'm good.
We'll give you a couple minutes so you guys can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I'll take a look at those.
Because I was doing what you were saying on here, like looking at which ones were, and that just struck me as, oh, I'm sorry.
I took a picture, so I'll take a look at those lines as well and see what
I
makes
think
sense.
it's 4750.
I'll just take a picture
Good evening. Just up. Budget, agenda.
Thank you, guys, for your input.
All right.
Continuing on, I have two items that I'd like to discuss with the council tonight under old business. The first is the veterans tax credit. I brought notes prior to knowing what public comment was going to bring tonight. The current notes that I have says there's 79 individuals that are currently receiving this. There's 78 that are getting full and one that is getting half. And that total is 78,500. The corresponding decrease in stackable credits that the veterans incurred was 50,250. So to totally implement this program would be 28,250. So I wanted to discuss with the council how they would feel about if we were to ask the town manager to issue refunds in the amount to the 79 individuals who qualify for the amount. By my calculation, and I can ask Justin to see if he can confirm this, it would be 28,250. And that was from a meeting on 7/21 with Steve Hamilton, where he presented that. So,
I think that's the right thing to do.
I feel like even prior to the comment tonight,
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like we should do that as a council.
Wholeheartedly support that.
Yes,
We've got to
indeed.
take care of our
Yep.
veterans in this community, and I'm absolutely, we
Dan?
need to correct that.
So, could I instruct the town manager to find out a process to issue refund to the 79 veterans that qualify for this program? So we can.
I have 86, just so.
Was it?
I have 86, just because if you're, I don't know if you're making a motion or not, we
Nope.
don't want to leave 7 people off.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good, perfect.
Yeah.
I just got that from Steve Hamilton's message. So
I'm looking at the MS1 right now,
yeah.
and it has 86 under there. so
perfect. Yeah.
you just say however many would
Yeah, yeah.
qualify. That way
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about.
I just want to try to
Handing
make
out
it right
that.
for the
Yeah.
veterans. I feel like
Nope, I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
it wasn't, we're not leaving people off.
I-
If
I-
you
I
say
know that-
79, then we only get 79, and
I know that when I voted, I thought it was effective immediately, and I think most of us did on the
Yeah,
council.
I
Yes.
thought it was effective August 1st.
So, and I know that, I mean, even with tonight, I just feel like it's something that's important that we do.
So Justin, with the 86, is it still the same amount that we're talking?
That's probably going to be two grand more roughly. It's tough to say
Just wanna
because
make sure
some
we have
people
the
get-
right amount.
with the,
because some
with the
people get-
stacking, I'm not
because some people
100%
get
sure,
stackable
but I
credits
mean,
and some don't.
at the most,
Yeah.
not taking it
Yeah.
stack, you're looking at 8,600.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at about 1,000. Sorry, that's not correct at all.
Yeah.
But you're looking at $1,000 for 86 more people. So 86,000.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second
I have a
that.
motion from Dan, a second from Sean. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What's the
Chair
motion
votes in
again, just so
affirmative.
we're really clear about what the motion is?
Sure.
I'll make it clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we instruct the town manager to go back and look at all our veterans who qualify for the veterans tax credit. And Justin said 80,
86. If you're not
86
able
of them,
to-
yep.
if you're able to not put a number in there, that'd probably be
Yeah.
best.
Oh, yeah,
just to
just-
be-
all right, I'm not going to put a number in there.
And refund.
And refund this amount to the individuals who qualify for that amount. Does that work?
Yep.
Mr. Manager?
No.
No.
So
Okay.
you should talk to legal counsel before you try to do that, because I can't carry out something that's, there's no such thing as a refund, by the way. for taxes once they're paid, so.
It'd be an abatement, right?
Exactly, there's a process, a statutory process for that, so you should talk to legal counsel before you make a motion like you just did.
So, another way to address this, I think, is that if we tell the veterans to put in for an abatement.
Exactly. The council can issue abatement for cause, just cause.
Yes.
That's what the authority is to be able to do that.
Right.
Okay.
So if the veterans would, and we don't need a motion for this, right?
You do, you have to issue so, yeah, they would apply for it, and then you would issue that abatement for those.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
That's what you
whatever,
have to
whatever
do.
is legal, I'm just want
Right.
us to do it, make it right.
But you don't need a motion from us.
No, so what you want to do is
Yes.
you want to send out a message to those people, notify those
Yes.
folks that the council's willing to entertain that.
Yes.
And then you'll take those, and then I'll give you the statutory language, the ability to do that.
Because
That's
when
what
those
you're-
abatements get, when they apply for those abatements, they'll come to us and we can grant those.
Right, so normally abatements are given, there's a time period in statute by which you do that. So this is a little bit different. So that's why we just should talk to legal counsel about how to do that. But the council can issue abatements for just cause, and that's written in the statute.
So then, Ron, you could talk to legal counsel and get that straightened out then for us?
Okay. I just want the veterans to know that this town council wants to make it right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we
You
will,
have to do it in the 26, because the 25 is already done, that
Right.
tax year is already done, so that's how you would do that.
okay. So I will get with legal counsel, we'll do it the right way, but as a council, we all agree we want to make it right,
Explore
right?
every avenue we
I
can.
just want to make it clear. It's not for 25, it's for 26 is when we're
25 is
gonna
already
be-
done, that's
Right.
why you can't do that, so.
Right, so
If you
it'll
want
be-
to issue an abatement, you'd have to do it in this year.
Okay. Just so they understand, so if anybody comes forward saying, oh,
Yeah.
you said we were going to get an abatement, you'll get the information on
Yeah,
how to do it.
I'll get back to everybody on that. The other issue I wanted to address is many residents, none that were here tonight, have approached me about Old Home Day and how very, very important it is to them. They have expressed the fact that they do not want Old Home Day to go away. They want to keep Old Home Day the way it is currently. And I think as a council, well, we don't really get a chance to talk. We should kind of figure out what we want as a council, because time is quickly ticking away. And I feel like we don't want to be the council, or at least I don't want to be the council that Old Home Day goes away. So I would just like to be able to discuss as a council, because we're in a public forum. We can
Okay.
discuss out loud like what we would like from Old Home Day, because I feel like many people out there, it's a hot issue with them, and it's something they look forward to.
I think it's a bunch of misinformation that went out, to be honest with you, because I don't remember anybody on the council saying we were going to cut Old Home Day. I don't remember the town manager ever saying he's going to cut Old Home Day. He's budgeted for it. I think there are departments that looked at their budgets and they said this is where we would cut some of the funding, not all. They would cut some of the funding. So, I asked, and I'll get this information out here.
So while you're looking that up, I'll just say that these residents that approached me, you know, they look at it as a family event.
Yeah.
You know, they were very family orientated. They like going to the parade. They like seeing the interaction with the town folks. They like seeing the common. And they're very concerned that the messages that they're hearing out there, that this could go away, and they don't want it to go away.
But nobody said it was going to go away.
I understand that, but there's
Just doing it a little bit differently. Actually, we're doing it more like it used to be done from like 2000 and whatever. When I was on the board, it was 2004 till I would say up to about 2015 is when it changed a little bit and got more town heavy and less resident heavy. But it's change, and nobody likes change, and that's really what it comes down to. I don't think anybody on this council wants to kill Old Home Day or not fund it or not see it go on. It may not go on the same. Who knows if the group that comes in says, let's put a carnival like Hudson does, or let's do a talent show like Derry does. I mean, it can change, and there's nothing wrong with change. Change is good. Change is growth.
That's why I wanted to have this discussion, because as you guys know, we can't talk unless we're a council as a group. So I'd like to just get the public out there that,
So I
We
did
can't
a-
talk in a quorum.
Yeah.
I did a little, I requested some information from the town manager and our fire department, our police department about Old Home Day. And I asked roughly, how much money are we spending on overtime? Fire department said on Wednesday's event, it's $423.49. Thursday's event, $494.46. Friday's event, which is the night we have fireworks, $4,719.17. Saturday's event, $4,748.80. The PD, I had a couple questions on them because somebody asked me, they said, well, we do the Millennium Running. Who pays for that overtime? Millennium Running pays for the details. So it's not overtime that the taxpayer is paying for. There would be a reduction in cost, however, the PD coverage for the concert is $777.24. The PD coverage for movie night and color run is $1,218.58. I just asked for these numbers because I know it's a 4-day event now, and I don't know with this new committee that we have, are they going to look at staying with a 4-day event? Are they going to look at doing a 2-day event? We used to have Old Home Day on Saturday, and we'd have fireworks Saturday night.
And the prayer walk on Sunday.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think I don't hear anybody here saying get rid of it. I think we're just talking about different ways of doing it.
So I guess I'll ask the question, do you support the proposed cuts to Old Home Day? That the budget, because you've got the numbers right there in front of you.
Yep.
And so I guess what are your thoughts on those?
Well, my thought is they're the department heads. They're the ones that look at it. They're not going, I don't think the police department's going to walk away and say, we're not going to provide any police protection for Old Home Day. I think they're going to have some. Maybe they'll have a little less, depending on the events. Okay? I mean, I look at this, and when the PD says movie night and color run, $1,200, well, if the movie night and color run is not held, and we have the event on Saturday and Sunday, I don't know if this is where they're looking to get cuts. But they know their departments. So they're the ones that know how much staff that they can provide for a safe event for this community.
I guess the concerns that I'm hearing out there, and I'll speak for myself because I don't know if anyone else is hearing the same concerns, is
Yep.
that, we formed a new committee.
Yep.
There's 2 members. Those 2 members cannot do this alone. Those 2 members, need help. They need guidance. They need direction. And I feel like the reason I wanted to bring it up today under old business is because I feel like we don't really get a chance to talk as a council. So, are we going to ask 2 members? We didn't have anybody else volunteer. 2 members to support this entire event, where before we've had 2 full-time people help out. We've had a committee. I just think we're setting them up to fail. That's my own opinion. Like, I feel like we're setting this committee up to fail. Like, how can they succeed when before they had 2 full-time people help them? They've had other people help them. They had a full committee. So that's all I'm just saying. I'm just hearing from people that they want this to happen, and they're very concerned that it's not going to happen.
So I guess
Can I just say one
Oh,
thing?
yeah, please. Go ahead.
further? You said that these people have all these people. Are the people you're talking to willing to step up? Or are they just going to complain about it? Because that's a big issue. You can sit there and say, I would love to be involved. I can't because I'm on this board, so I cannot do it.
I would answer you honestly, and I would say, I don't know, but
I think that we should put this on the, personally, I think we should talk, that's
Yeah.
fine. But it should be on the agenda, and we should have a public hearing, Let's hear from the public, why they don't like it,
That's why
why
we're-
they do like it, what they want to see, all of it.
I'm not opposed
And
to
then
that.
we move from there, because I haven't heard anybody except for that one letter we got as a council. That's it.
I have heard from people that would be more interested in volunteering if it was not listed as a nonprofit organization, if it went back to how it was.
Can I
If
ask
we
Ted,
went-
did you
if we
ask them
reverted
why?
back.
What the
Why?
difference
I've had-
is?
What's the difference?
I've had
Yeah.
two people, to Ted's point, I had two people ask me about that, and they're afraid to connect. They're afraid to put their name with anything that has to do with that.
Why?
It's an intimidating barrier
It's
to
it's an
entry.
intimidating. I don't want to speak for somebody. I'm just telling you what they said. So,
I'm just curious as to.
but I have no problem putting this as a public hearing on the agenda and talk about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it out open, because
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like
I mean-
we're in January, and it's the 250th anniversary of the country.
The flag,
We've got all kinds of events going to be happening.
Can we get the people who are on the committee to come?
Sure, I
as
can ask
well?
them. There's only two of them, that's the
right,
point.
and
Yeah.
see what they've done.
Yeah.
Maybe we can also ask.
So
the
I
town-
did a little. She's not here anymore.
Maybe we-
I believe the committee hasn't met yet.
Right, but can we also ask Kirsten to put something else out to try to get
She
people-
has.
to get people involved a little bit?
Because I did ask her that at a prior meeting, and she said that she was going to repost these.
Okay.
So
I haven't
yes.
seen them, so.
Good.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either, but
I haven't seen them anywhere on Facebook.
So that's why I just wanted to have this open discussion
Anything.
with you guys, because I feel like we can't have it outside the council.
Yeah, I
And-
guess my thing is, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what you're saying. People are afraid to sit on a nonprofit. If that was the case, why are people who sit on the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club? I mean, they sit on the Historical Society is all non.
Yeah, but I'm not
I
going to
don't
speak
get
for
it.
them. I'm just
I
telling
know,
you what they
but
told me. I'm not going to.
I just really
So
don't understand.
think about it. We put a posting out. We got 2 positions for 5. We couldn't even fill the slots, and no one's even come to us and said that they're interested. I'm just concerned. That's all. I'm just trying to express what my.
And like I said, I would love to help, but I can't because I sit on this board.
So I've got a question.
Yeah, please,
of-
this
of
is
the
what
town
we're talking-
manager.
This,
Let's say, for unknown reasons, we only get 2 people involved. Do we have the ability to have somebody in our staff help with them put this thing together and guide them?
Yeah, if I can just clarify, there's actually 3 people. There's a town councilor and those 2 people. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
3.
easy.
okay.
Yeah, that's Sean.
No, that's it's.
no,
And-
it's not me.
It's Ted.
Yeah.
It's Ted,
But-
Ted's Old Home Day?
But they.
So there's one. That's one piece of clarification.
I was
Two-
talking about public members, though. Just so you.
No, I know. I just want to be clear, though, that
Yeah.
so they can do business with 3 people.
Okay.
The other part of it is there wasn't 2 full-time staff assigned to that. That I have a part-time deputy recreation director. He's not full-time, and he's running the summer program at the same time. And Kirsten is assigned to do additional work. That's not her full-time job either. So I just want to be clear about that.
It wasn't meant to infer anything you're doing wrong.
No, no,
It was
I
just
know
meant
that.
to bring
I
it
know.
to the council's attention, because I feel like we don't get to talk as a council.
Sure.
And so many people have approached me with concern about this. It's very important to a lot of people, and they don't want to see it go away. And it's important to me. I mean, I enjoy it. So I just wanted to be able to discuss it at the council, and if you feel like a public hearing is the best method, Deb, I'm for it. That's why we're having this.
That's my best suggestion.
So,
I mean,
let's-
it's another way
To
of
if I
putting
could
it
just
out.
finish your question too, is the staff is still going to be supporting this. That is not going to change.
Okay.
And as was indicated earlier, I fully funded Old Home Day in the budget. You know that.
Yeah, no.
And the council hasn't said anything that's going to do the contrary. So I was asked to make cuts. So I looked at where I could make those cuts that aren't impacting public safety services. You actually have a policy that covers this, your financial management policy, that we don't frequently comply with. But it does say in there about the basic services, and those are a priority. I haven't seen that in other communities, but you actually have that in writing here. So-
My Old Home Day comment was more or less for the council to talk.
Oh, I know, I
Just
know.
because we don't get a chance to.
I gotcha.
And I wanted the public to hear that we do care, and we do want this to happen. And I think some people's perception out there is that the council just is going to let it go away, and I'm not going to let that happen as the chair. I don't want it to go away.
I just want to say that when I look at these budget cuts of 400, all right, fire department stated this is how much they would cut. Some of it would be out of Old Home Day. Police department did the same thing. I don't think either department is going to, if we have Old Home Day, say, you know what? I'm not gonna provide the coverage. They will provide the coverage. It's a bottom line budget. They have X amount of money in there for overtime. So if they have to shift money around, then they can do that. They have the ability to do that.
Yep. I don't. So I'm not bringing this to your attention as a budget issue right now. I'm bringing it to your attention more or less as a public issue that people have approached me and said that they're concerned that we're not taking appropriate concern to make it happen the way it should happen.
Well, I think,
Okay,
Ron.
so that's all. So
I think when some of the concern comes up is because when you look at the $400,000 cut, some of that is, towards Old Home Day. And I still will say it's a bottom line budget. So if Chief Bernard, all right, and his staff says to him, I need 6 people, he's going to provide those 6 people. He's not going to say no because it's Old Home Day event. He's going to provide the safety for the community, and so will the fire. And they'll adjust their budgets. But I think some of this came out, I feel, because when they look at these cuts, some of it, they said, I'm going to cut Old Home Day, and maybe they can, have this function with 9 people versus 12. And that's what they're looking at. They're the professionals. They're the ones that, and I think that's where some of this came from. I mean, people getting upset because they look at the cuts and going, oh my goodness, it's Old Home Day. None of us up here want to cut Old Home Day. The town manager has never said he's going to cut Old Home Day. He's budgeted for it. So I think having a discussion with the people who are on the committee, I think is a great idea. Put it out there again, advertise it, get people involved, put it in the paper, and try to get people involved in it. And the people, to me, I think Councilor Paul said it right. If you're going to complain, why don't you step up and try to help out instead of complaining?
Okay.
So I usually, and I haven't said much here, so I'm just trying to jump in.
Jump in.
Uncharacteristically the last person to speak on a subject.
It's me.
Yeah. So I normally agree with that sentiment. I think a lot of people complain about stuff and they don't sign up and volunteer. The one place I don't think it fits is Old Home Day because it's such an integral, important thing to this community. People love this event. And let's be honest, most people aren't involved in town government things. Most people just live their life. They go to work, they pay their bills, they pay their property taxes. If we're lucky, they come and vote in March. But what they do come out to is Old Home Day and enjoy this. And I think this is something that makes it just a wonderful community to be in. And I'm not saying if you want that wonderful thing to exist, then you better do it yourself. And it's just, I get the aspect of people don't volunteer for things, but my biggest concern with this is we've got, I don't know, it's 8 months, and we've got 3 people on a committee that I don't know that that's enough manpower to do it. And I worry that the plan's there. I've gotten calls too about Old Home Day where people are concerned that it's not going to happen. And I agree with you, Deb. People don't like change. Change is scary. Change is less scary when you have a nice transition plan to go from one thing to the other. And I think we've just got to not have a hard shift here. I think we've got to transition from what we're doing to where we're going and make that happen.
So I know, you haven't been here long, so you don't know. But for a long time it was volunteers. And I do remember Derry Fest, which is kind of like their Old Home Day. They just do it a little bit later in the year and call it a fest because it's
from 12 to 4.
It's a one-day event. Just let me finish.
Okay.
But that was a volunteer thing.
Yeah.
People stopped doing it because a lot of it was the Chamber of Commerce that did it. And then that kind of disappeared. And they were going to kill it. It was dead. And then 5 people stepped up and the whole thing at the last minute. And when I say last minute, like 3 months to go, and they pulled it out of there. The same thing happened in Chester. They call it Chester Fair. It's a weekend event. The same thing happened, that the citizens ran it, the town got involved, then the town pulled out because they said this is such a huge amount of money and time for our town employees to do. And then I think it was 2 or 3 people stepped up and back to the thing. It happens all the time. It's not a unique thing for something like this to happen on an event like this. That's and I'm not trying to dismiss it or say any, I'm just saying what I know to be true. And the thing is that we've had, I'm not forcing people to stuff. For a long time, we had like, I don't even know, I'm trying to remember when I was on, there had to be like 10 to 15 members, volunteers on that board. And there was very little to no town involvement. This is when Dick Plant was here and Troy Brown then took it over. And everybody just did their own thing. And the town did very, very little.
So I agree with you. You had 15 though. We have 3 right now.
But the people just stood up and did it.
Yeah.
And this was up until 2020. I mean, I hate to blame something, but if I had to blame something that kind of hurt Old Home Day, I'm going to blame COVID. Because it was like 2019, we had volunteers on the board. And then 2020 and 21, that, they still pulled things off, but, and then it just changed.
So as one counselor, I do not want it to become Dairy Fest. Dairy Fest that's not what we want as a town. I'll speak for myself. It's not what I want as a town.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought this whole thing up is just to have this discussion, because I'm very concerned that you said 15 people. They currently have 3, if we include Ted. I don't think that 3 people can get this done. So I think
I
they
beg
need
to differ
help.
with you. I think that they could if they were meeting and
Okay.
being inventive.
Just so you know, we
That's
did
why
it
I
with
said
no
I'd love to
people
be
last
part
year.
of it.
There was no committee last year. We had a full-time staff person and a
Yeah.
part-time, they did it by themselves.
It
So there
can be
was no
done.
support.
And do we have that same full-time staff person and part-time person, though? I mean, when we're looking at resources, if they did that.
They're still going to be assigned to this same, Doug and Kirst are still going to be assigned to do that. And they did that by themselves without any committee whatsoever. The fact that we've got 3 now is a leg up.
Okay.
And this is a transition, as you indicated, to go from staff to volunteers. So now we got 3. We had 0 before.
It just takes time.
Okay.
I hate to say that, but
That's
I
fine.
think, Ron, again, it comes down to.
the more you talk about
looking
it,
at
the
that.
more
Yeah.
you excite people. And that's our job, by the way, Ron, is to go out and find people
I
to volunteer. And
support
those
this
people who are complaining, they
more
should
than
be
you
going
know.
out and reaching out and saying, sign up, sign up.
But I agree. I'm going to echo your sentiments. These people, some of these people, okay, they pay their taxes, they go about their daily life, and it's something that they just say, "Hey, this is a fun time in the summer," and it's been there before, and they want to enjoy it again.
I agree with you, but it's not the whole town. Number one, it's not the whole town. Number 2, if they care that much. Right now, if we were to say there were going to be no more concerts on the Common, I guarantee you, businesses, people would step up and move that forward because they like it. And if they really thought that that was going to happen, they would step up. And my opinion, if I felt that, like when I saw that the Historical Society was struggling, I went down there and I got involved. I made it a farmer's market, artisan craft fair. We had a whole bunch of stuff going. We had fiddlers. We had everything going on at the Historical Society. And I did it by myself. And then Ann Champa got involved. And I kind of passed the hat on and walked away.
So,
Okay.
I have a question.
Please.
Ted's the liaison.
Yes.
Technically not. By
So
our town
I was
website.
the liaison to Old Home Community when we established that.
So
That's
who
when
is
we-
it?
I don't know right now.
Technically
So
not,
Ted-
not.
Not on our website. I don't think we established that back in April.
No, we didn't
No,
establish it.
no,
back-
you had suggested you wanted to help with it.
I had suggested I would, but I didn't know that I was technically on it.
so maybe
So,
that was-
I
So-
think that's one of the things that we need to figure out tonight.
Okay.
Who is gonna be,
I don't think we need to figure that out right tonight.
I mean,
well, if, so that person can start meeting with these people and trying to get this moving
In 1 week?
forward.
Okay.
I would think
So,
that you'd want to know.
I know that Kirsten is working on getting a meeting together.
Yeah.
So,
So out of the 5 of us, who's going to be on that?
so if Ted is still willing,
Yeah.
he was the one that I
Unless you don't want
had
to.
said that
I'm willing to
he
do
was
so.
willing to do it.
Okay.
So, and I think that
So hopefully,
Ted would be a great representative
Yeah.
I mean, that may,
on that committee.
that may or may not change if I don't get reelected in March. So that'll have to be changed again.
That is
That's the
true.
problem with having a town councilor on that board. And then we're
True.
down to 2 people again, and
Yep.
we'll have to change that.
So,
so they can
All right.
keep us informed, as far as the progress that the committee's making,
mm-hmm.
Yep.
you know?
And I still think that, I don't think that we should have moved forward to be a nonprofit, and it should have stayed the way it was as a volunteer organization within the town. I think that there's some legality issues that we could be facing in the future with
Such as?
town spending money towards the event or being accepted into it, and if the governmental entity can actually spend money and donate money into it or not. And I think that, there's issue with people wanting to step forward or not onto a nonprofit board, that some people don't want to be on a nonprofit board and have their name publicly be out there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last sentence you said.
Some
Ted.
people don't want to be on a nonprofit board and have their name be publicly out there. Some people just want to do that work and just have it be done. They
But if
don't-
you're on the Old Home Day Committee, when it was a regular committee, you had to have minutes and your name was attached to it and there was,
It's a whole different process when you're on a state nonprofit board.
I was just bringing it up tonight for discussion.
No, I
guys, 'cause
just-
know
I
that we
didn't
can't
understand that,
discuss this
but-
more. So,
I would say, I like what Ted just said here. I would like to at least know, and I would like to know I would ask that if you could talk to legal counsel and see if we have any options on that. I don't even know if we have any options. We might be.
It's already done.
okay.
Came in today.
It's what?
It's already done. It came in today.
I'm sorry.
The legal opinion came in today.
Oh,
It's already done.
Oh.
There's no legal issues with doing this, which I told you before.
No. I don't mean legal issues with doing this. I mean, what I'm saying is, if we're
wanted to
if we're
rescind
thinking
it.
the nonprofit is a problem, are we just stuck and there's no options there? Is there options? Is there not? I don't even know
Well, what do you mean? So what options?
if we need to keep the nonprofit status or we don't. If
You
we
created
have-
it, you can also dissolve it.
Okay,
You haven't appointed anybody.
I don't know.
Well, you appointed 2
That's
people,
why I'm
actually.
asking.
I was just bringing this up tonight as
'Cause
a
if-
discussion because constituents of mine are very concerned about it. They like it. They want it to continue the way it was. So I just wanted to have an open discussion in public
yeah,
about
no,
it.
I think it's great
And
that you did it.
If we feel like, if Ted, if you're still willing to do that, that was my impression
Certainly.
of it. If you could keep us updated as to what your opinion is, do you think it's moving well?
I'll have to communicate with Kirsten
yeah.
on when that meeting may or may not happen.
So, is that
And
fair
the
enough?
last point is that I think if you want, Sean, you could look at Hudson. They went from volunteer to the town to a nonprofit. And they have no connection really to the town at all. And their event is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's a great event. People in Hudson love it as well. Not everybody in the town goes to these events, but for the ones that do go, they do enjoy it. So my point is, we could look at what they did and how they did it. Tim, who's the chair of their Old Home Day, I'm sure would love to talk to us and explain to us how it happened and how they did it and what you should or should not be afraid of being on a nonprofit and how they got people involved.
Could we get that person here for our next meeting?
I could call him. I don't know if he'll come, but I'll call him.
Yeah, interesting to hear from him.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
Like for me, I'm not
just was thinking of ways to answer your question.
Yeah. I'm not caring about the specifics of it. I just want to make sure it goes on and goes on correctly. That's the number one thing. And I want to make sure us as a council, I know Ron brought this up, it's very easy for us to go 2 months down the road and have completely forgot about this. Then we're 2 months more in, something else didn't happen. And I want to make sure that we're moving forward so that Old Home Day proceeds as it's been and the great event that it's been for the last
And I kind of agreed with you, except we don't know how it's gonna be. Because we don't know what the people on that board are gonna wanna do.
Exactly.
So they might wanna do a glow night food truck thing, with glow sticks and karaoke and do something totally different. We have no idea. So we don't know what's gonna happen exactly as it happened, because it could be different. I don't know, but it could be. I mean, someone might say we want the carnival, we want the circus back that we used to have inside of Matthew Thornton. I don't know.
I just hope that we're not too far behind on the 8 ball of getting bands or any other events who walk in the parade locked in for the parade, because
And-
sometimes they really get them locked in with different dates and timing way ahead of time.
I am friends with Steve, who I brought in to run the Londonderry Old Home Day Parade when we didn't have anybody. I know he wants to retire, but I could ask him if he could do one last year to teach somebody to get the information so that we could have the parade go off without a hitch. I can do that tomorrow morning.
I just wanted to get the discussion started, okay? Because I was concerned.
Yeah, it's something I think we need to stay
So
on top of.
if, Ted, if you're willing to keep us up to date.
Certainly.
And I have no problem putting it on the agenda at any point and having public, whatever we want to do as
There
a
you go.
council.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get it out there because
So it will be
a
on
lot
the
of people have
agenda,
contacted me.
Public hearing, next thing, I'm calling Steve Denty, I'm gonna try to get it told to Ted's
Okay.
gonna try to do it, we're gonna have a meeting, so it's all set up.
Okay.
So like in the words of the great John
Yeah.
Lennon, no problems, only solutions.
And during your liaison reports, we can get an update from Ted, though, see what's going on.
All right. Well, thank you all for that. Up next, I have the approval of the consent items. So I'll accept a motion to accept the consent items.
So moved.
Motion from
Second.
Sean, second from Ted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. All right. Let's see. Any liaison reports tonight?
Not since we, last night before Christmas.
Okay. All right.
Nope.
I have none. All right. Town manager report tonight, sir.
Yes, so I've got an email from, DOT about the sidewalks on Route 28 by Exit 5. They're going to be doing some paving there on the ramps. And they sent me a letter saying that we have to agree to a maintenance agreement with them, which is typical of what they send. I've seen these in 2 other communities that I've worked in, that when you have a state route and you have a sidewalk on there, usually you have to sign these agreements that we're going to maintain them. I talked to former town manager Kevin Smith and also John Trotter, who was the engineer at the time, and the town was very clear that it would not maintain those sidewalks.
Thank God.
And the state had designed them, and we said, we're not gonna do that. So that's from 2 different officials here at the time. And then they went and built them anyway. So we have not been maintaining those, however long that's been several years since they made those improvements over there. Now they're doing the paving. When they do the paving, they have to update, make them ADA accessible. When I say them, the ramps that go up to that, apparently they're not right now. So they're gonna put the truncated domes, the concrete to do that. So they're asking us to sign this agreement that we agree to maintain those in the wintertime, and that we also agree to do the markings on that. So, and then they said if we don't do that, they're going to remove those.
Good.
So I want to be very clear about that. That's what they say. I don't think that they're going to actually do that. It would be pretty silly to go out and remove all that infrastructure. But then again, that's what their letter says. I've sent it to you. You have it.
So
So
there are
I need some-
also crosswalk signals in place at these intersections?
Yes. I don't know about, I think there are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
So they
But
spent
there's
all this
roadway
money on
markings.
crosswalk signaling and lining and sidewalks, and now all of a sudden they want to say, oh, that's not our problem, that's your problem to deal with?
Which is what they do in most communities, again, if you have sidewalks, but usually that's agreed upon in advance, and we specifically said, we're not going to do that, because we don't have the resources to do
Well,
that.
there are also sidewalks to nowhere.
That's true.
Well, the bridge to
It's
nowhere,
true.
and they want us to now
That's true.
maintain them.
Well, which is probably the rationale behind the council then saying, we don't want to do that way.
Right.
If we had a sidewalk plan, we don't, but if we did, you'd literally have to put it on a flatbed, drive it up there, because you don't have a sidewalk network to get to it. I mean,
Yeah.
think about the logistics of being able to, even if you had the equipment and you had the staff, to plow 1,000 feet of sidewalk or whatever that is, the linear feet that are, it would be, very impractical to do that anyway. And I'm not sure even what usage there is up to that sidewalk. In fact, they talk about that in here. They recommend that you don't have sidewalks that aren't used, and why would you continue to invest in those? Anyway, so I just need some guidance as to what you would like me to do. We talked about this
Yeah,
morning.
I think.
What you'd like me to
We
do
agree.
in terms of
Yeah,
responding to this.
Don't sign it.
Don't sign it.
Don't sign it.
Sign it.
We have to respond by May 1st.
Well, we responded by what today? We have to be ahead of the game.
Wow.
So
the
what is the
council's
ex-
united on this.
I don't always notice the sidewalk when I'm driving near exit 5. So what is the extent of the sidewalk at exit 5? How far does it
goes-
go?
It goes underneath the overpass there, and it's between the
Yeah.
two ramps.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how much further it goes on, but I didn't, that's what they're talking about, is that section of it.
Why would they do that right there?
Yeah.
What would they do, what? Oh.
Why would
I
they
wasn't
put a
here.
sidewalk and,
I don't think any of you were on the council.
Yeah,
when
no.
this was going on a
like,
long time
that,
ago.
I would have loved to have known the rationale at the time, to have sidewalks and crossings in
Yeah,
an
it's
area
not
that
part
don't
of
even
a-
connect to anything.
It's not part of a master plan that we have to create sidewalk networks. They're going to attach that, so I don't know.
That's just wasteful spending by the state then.
So you have
That they could have
United
been
Front.
spending on 28 by the mobile station instead. Hilarious.
Yeah. Continue, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
I do have a couple, I got to pull my one out. Hold on just a second. I was expecting we're going to be into the wee hours of the morning, so you got to have me. All right. There it is. Oh, yes. In regards to the letter of support for House Bill 1469 from the town of Derry made that request of us regarding massage parlors. I heard from 2 councils. I haven't heard from the other 3 as to what you want to do on that.
I don't think we should move forward
no.
in supporting that.
That position is the same as when we talked about getting involved in state issues. In the end of the day, if we want to get involved in that, we'll talk to our state reps, have them get involved, sponsor bills, do other things. So I just don't want to.
So that's the position of the council?
I think no.
I'll notify Derry that we're not.
I
gonna-
think it's yes, but.
I think it's yes. We have a few in our town.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm good with it
That's-
keeping it a state issue.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll just notify Derry that
Yeah.
we're not going to be signing on that. Those are the 2 items I have.
All right, thank you.
Deputy Town Manager report.
Just want to clarify one of the future agenda items for the PUD ordinance. That's likely going to be pushed past February 2nd. We're trying to schedule an additional work session with the board, the planning board. It's looking like early February at this point, which pushes your timeline a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. All right. I will open public comment. Good evening.
Marge Bedoy, 189 Litchfield Road. On the Old Home Day thing, I think some of the angst is we need to decide, are we asking for volunteers or are we asking for board members? That should be 2 different things.
Exactly.
I can understand the angst of being asked to be a board member because there is a level of liability involved there. There can be. And yet we want volunteers. I don't think volunteers have to be board members. And so we should maybe clarify what our vision is on that. And I think it would probably help,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe get people to sign up.
That's a great suggestion. I will.
All right.
Thanks, Marge.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
many open positions do we have on that committee? What size did we originally?
I think it's 5.
Yes, we have 2 that we have to fill.
Yeah, you need a
We have 2 more.
secretary.
5
vice
including the
president.
town councilor?
Yes.
Okay, so just 2 open. Okay.
Anybody else with public comment? Good evening. Yeah, yeah. It's just grab that from right there. Yep.
Sandra Legue, 2 Fiddlers Ridge Road. Can you hear me? Okay. I came to talk about something else, but I'll save it for next week at the beginning. It's related to the budget, and
Okay.
I look forward to talking to you guys about that. And since it's the end of the night, I'll try to be brief. Just about Old Home Day.
Yep.
What Marge just said. Ron, as Chairman Dunn, as the chairman, if you are being contacted by constituents who are concerned about the cuts, I would expect you, having the knowledge that you have in front of you, to say on that phone call or in that discussion, it is not being cut.
I do.
Right?
I do.
I would expect you to say it
Yep.
is not being cut. And Marge brought up a really good point. That's part of the confusion. And then the other part of the confusion that I could also see is that the difference between, there's nothing wrong with a nonprofit. I'm on the board of a nonprofit. I've been for 25 years. And we have volunteers that have nothing to do with the board. So it's two different things. I would also expect you to listen to, as counselors, when there's an expert in the room who knows the answer to a question. And if you are told that there's nothing wrong with a 501c nonprofit for a committee in town, I expect you to listen to and not waste your own time and everyone else's time second-guessing that fact. When you have an expert in the room who you've hired, who knows some of the RSAs, maybe all of them, better than some of you may, right?
Absolutely.
Listen. Do yourself a favor. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's not true. And don't get whipped up in some frenzy about something that is kind of not a big deal. It's just a different way to organize a wonderful event. Okay, so I look forward to that having, I think you said, public comment. Listen to the experts that you have in the room that know the RSAs, or go get the legal counsel that you asked for, and take that and then move forward. I would encourage you as the chairman to end your own discussion and move forward, right? And I think Councillor Bichard brought up a really good point when he said that the confusion was also tied to the two departments, fire and police, saying we're going to cut back on the overtime. And that turned into, on the rumor mill, we're going to cut the event. We're going to cut the budget to we're going to cut the event. Stand up and say, no, that's not what it is. Listen to your experts, relay it back to people, be part of reducing the rumor mill. Be part of getting people on the same page. And don't be afraid of change. What Councillor Paul said, I worked in large industry my whole life. And change is such a difficult thing for people. In big business, they're actually people's jobs that are change management. Full-time, highly paid jobs to help people move from we're going to do it this way to we're going to do it this way. People hate change. It's human nature. And there's a whole science behind it. And we can't get stuck in, we have to move people. There's something called the change curve. Look it up. Google it later, the change curve. And you'll see what people go through. So I feel confident in everything that I'm hearing that there's going to be a fabulous Old Home Day. Probably the only thing that's at risk is the knowledge that people have who have run it in the past. So whoever these wonderful two people are who have stepped up, I have no idea who it is. If they have experience in this area, great. If they don't, they're going to need the town staff to teach them what they don't know, right? So that's your only risk. That's your gap. That's your risk between now, beginning of January, and the middle of August is, do people know how to do this, right? And there's some very experienced people in town who may or may not be able or willing to participate. But as I listen when he talks, and he said the town staff will still be participating. So you're up 2 people from last year. So let's move forward. And I'll come back and repeat this when you have the public comment for the larger crowd in the room at that time. So thank you. And I'll
Thank you.
also come
Thanks,
back and
Sandy.
chat. And
Appreciate it.
I meant to start my watch, so I didn't go over 5 minutes, but I hope somebody was timing me.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Anybody else with public comment?
Mike.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Mr. Chairman, thank you for recognizing me. I want to make a comment on the budget, and I want to ask first.
Sure.
By the way, it's Mike Speltz,
Yep.
18 Sugar Plum Lane. Is that appropriate? In particular, I want to talk about the $400,000 proposed cut.
Yeah, you can make comment.
That
We are having a
just
public
correct me
hearing.
if I'm wrong, but I think the largest component of that $400,000 was in the elimination of what we used to call the conservation ranger. Is that right? I think it was like 36,000 or so.
I don't know if that's the largest component, but that was a significant component.
Right. And I would urge you, as you consider whether or not to make that cut, is to take a broader, maybe longer-term view. That position came as a result of 2 problems that we had. One was ATV activity and conservation of lands, and the other was rifle fire in the conservation lands. And that, it was a sort of a chain of events that having that law enforcement there caused people to feel more comfortable to be in there, and it made the people that were violating the laws in there more uncomfortable. And we solved that problem. It's not going to take too long before people realize that nobody's watching the kitchen anymore. So you might be penny wise and pound foolish, because you'll be saving, I think it's around $36,000. But
I just grabbed it. It's 42,417.
42, okay, 42,000. So you're going to create a problem that you'll spend more money on solving later, not to mention putting, people's health and safety at risk. And that doesn't say anything about the dog poop that didn't get left behind because the conservation ranger was driving up and down the rail trail. So please be careful when you make your decision on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Anybody else with public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment. And I will accept a motion to go into non-public session pursuant to 91A:3, 2D, consideration of the acquisition and sale or lease of real personal property which is discussed in public would likely benefit the party or parties that are involved in the interest of this general community.
So moved.
A motion from Sean, second from Ted. Has to be a roll call vote, I believe. So.
Aye, Ted Combs.
Aye, Sean Faber.
Aye, Ron Dunn.
Aye, Dan Bouchard.
I did, Paul.
We will be in
So
non-public
just,
session.
just for the public, so when you're done, you're not coming back down here, you're done.
Right.
Just so they don't have
So
to wait
thank you
around
all.
for nothing.